Anything else?
Good evening and welcome to the North Bend City Council meeting for May 7th, 2024. Will the clerk please call roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Alan Gotthelf,
Present.
Councilmember Brendan Elwood,
Present, virtually present.
Councilmember Mark Jocelyn,
Present.
Councilmember Heather Cullen,
Here.
Councilmember Christina Rustic,
Here.
Councilmember Susan Torgerson,
Here.
Councilmember Errol Tremolata.
Here.
All are present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Will the clerk please lead us in the flag salute? Okay, well, good evening, everybody. We will now move on to the consent agenda. We have 8 items on our consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Gotolf and seconded by Mr. Who is it over there? Just kidding. Hi, Mr. Johnson. Good evening, everybody. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries and is unanimous. Before we move on to citizens' comments, as indicated on tonight's agenda, if you are attending remotely and would like to submit public comment, please submit your written comments via in-person drop-off, mail, fax, or email to sopadol@northbendwa.gov by 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. We are no longer taking public comments for those attending remotely via Zoom unless you have reached out to the city clerk in advance of the meeting to request accommodations. We will now move on to citizens' comments. At this time, if you would like to comment on an item that is not on the agenda tonight, we would invite you to come forward to the podium. If you have requested accommodation with the city clerk and wish to speak during citizen comments, please raise your hand through the virtual platform and we will take your comments after in-person comments. Okay, please remember to state your name, your address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. And welcome. Good evening.
My name is Kate Lean, 980 Mountain View Boulevard, North Bend. I'm here tonight to present a petition signed by 643 Valley residents, including 235 North Bend residents, asking their elected officials to work together on a regional public pool. North Bend residents have a proud legacy of public pool access. It was residents who asked the WPA in 1935 to build Sideview, the first public pool on the east side. They gave an overwhelming 73% approval in 2003 to keep it open as a local tax-supported resource. Last November, your constituents in North Bend voted to approve Prop 1 by 62%. But if it was just up to them, it wouldn't have needed to be on the November ballot at all. They would have already approved it back in August of 2022 by 65%. One comment on this petition sums up the feelings of many, and I quote, "I cannot believe we have to do this and we do not already have a pool." I'd like to share a story that shows why this is so important to residents. Last August, our neighbor texted a group of us in a panic. She couldn't find her 2 preschool-age kids anywhere in their house or backyard, which backs up to the South Fork. Within a minute, someone texted the question in the back of all of our minds. Has anyone checked the river? What if her kids were among the over 3,000 in our area who were waitlisted for lessons at Sideview last year? What if, like many North Bend families, they were struggling with rising food and fuel costs and didn't have other options? Thankfully, this story has a happy ending, but I was left with a question. How many in our town live with the fear of knowing that they live steps from a river, but can't get their children what they need to survive a fall into it? Washington has drowning rates above the national average. Formal lessons for children may reduce their risk of drowning by as much as 88%. However, aging public pools in our area have been closing for the past 2 decades without being replaced, reducing affordable lesson access as the population continues to grow, reducing access to only those who can pay expensive club or membership fees. Sadly, it should be no surprise that drowning rates in our county have doubled since 2018. If Sideview Pool closes without a new affordable public pool, we will find ourselves at the forefront of a growing public health crisis. The signatories to the petition I am presenting this evening are calling on you to address this important issue. Lastly, I'm aware of a letter sent by the City of Snoqualmie requesting partnership on their YMCA Community Center expansion project. Since it references this petition, we feel it is important to clarify that our signatories support a public, non-member-based regional aquatic center based on a shared vision among area stakeholders. I hope you can see the letter as an opportunity to invite Snoqualmie to the table to discuss a proposition that matches that description. Thank you, and I will email my comments and the petition to the city.
Thank you, Kate. Would you mind saying your name in full
Sure.
and your address?
Kate Lean, 980 Mountain View Boulevard.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So hello, Deborah Landers, 14615 438th Avenue Southeast. Yes, I'm here again about North Bend Art and Industry. This time I have flyers for Art Off the Rails, June 15th on Saturday. It's also the weekend for Father's Day weekend and graduation weekend. So here in North Bend, one of the three sites, we have three awesome bands. We've got the True Romans, we have Jay Lee and the Lost Boys, and we have Ask Sophie coming out. We've also got some great food trucks and over 40 artists so far setting up booths in the William Henry Taylor Park. So please encourage folks to come and play with us 11 to 4 o'clock on the 15th. The other thing that I'm super excited about to share is that we just interviewed our last candidate for a youth board member. And we'll be choosing that board member on this Thursday at our board meeting. The candidates were amazing, and this is a 2 to 3 year until they're through high school, 2 to 3 year commitment, and they all bring some really amazing skills. We're excited to have that relationship and the youth insight and diversity to help us bring more young folks into our organization. And that's all I have to share. Thank you so much for having me. Goodbye.
Thank you, Deb. Anybody else? Yeah, Deb has no energy. That's right. Anyone online, Bree or Aaron? No, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to announcements, presentations, and appointments. Item 9, AB 24-046, appointments to Planning Commission. Current terms for Planning Commission number 1, number 2, and number 3. Well, that made it easy. On the Planning Commission are expiring. Planning Commissioners Brian Fitzgibbon, Juliana Pereira, and Sam White who hold these positions have generously offered their time for another appointment. I am recommending the reappointment of Brian Fitzgibbon to position 1, Juliana Pereira to position number 2, and Sam White to position number 3. Councilman Goto, will you please make a motion?
I am honored to. Motion to approve AB 24-046, confirming the planning commission appointments for Juliana Pereira. Is that right?
Pereira?
Pereira, I am sorry.
Nope.
And position 2 to Sam White, or position number 2 for Juliano, Sam White to position number 3, both terms expiring May 11th, 2028, and Brian Fitzgibbon to position number 1, term expiring May 18th, 2028. Can't believe we're talking about 2028.
Well, we'll try repeating my name.
Just
Just kidding.
Yours is easy.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, motion made by Mr. Gotelf and seconded by, bless you, by the way, by Susan Torgerson. Okay, at this time, I would like to ask the commissioners present to reappoint tonight to come forward to the podium. And let's start with Sam. And hi, Sam.
Hi, I'm back.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for all you do.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Well, that's terrific to hear.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
Good.
It's been a very
Great.
short appointment. So yeah, I'm glad I
Well,
get a little bit of a longer.
We're gonna push that forward a little bit.
Yeah,
Your
excellent.
willingness.
2020?
Yeah.
2028. I know. I'm gonna have a 16-year-old daughter then. No, she's 12, almost teenager.
Well,
Teen
you
years
got-
already have me stressed out, you know, just even like.
You got a lot of fun ahead. I've been there.
Yeah.
She came out great, don't worry. Sam, thank you for agreeing to serve yet another term for Planning Commission Council. Do you have any questions or comments for Mr. White? Oh, yes.
First off, thank you for stepping up again.
Thank you.
Last time was a short one. I'm looking at this 2028. I don't think I've thought about 2028 yet.
Oh.
So, but thank you for stepping up. Appreciate your always stepping up. You know, you started trying to, step up to the council and then you went to the planning commission and, now you're back to be reappointed. So we're happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember Code to help. Anybody else? Questions or comments to make? No, we're good. Okay, stay there. And Juliana, would you like to join? Fellow Planning Commissioner, there you go. Juliana, thank you for agreeing to serve yet another term on Planning Commission. Council, do you have any questions or comments for Juliana?
I'll go ahead and thank you too for your efforts and re-upping again. I spent some time on the planning commission.
Yeah.
It's one of the most intense of the commissions and a lot of reading. So appreciate you stepping up again, and we couldn't do it without the community members stepping up to our committees.
Thank you. Privilege.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Just please stay there for a moment. I don't think we have Brian here tonight. Am I correct? Okay, so council commissioners, please stay at the podium and while we finish your confirmation. Council, the motion before you is to approve AB 24-046, confirming planning commission appointments of Juliana Pereira to position number 2, Sam White to position number 3, both terms expiring May 11, 2028, and Brian Fitzgibbon to position number 1, term expiring May 18th, 2028. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that motion passed unanimously, of course, and we're going to do a little photo op, gentlemen, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay, that was fun. Item number 10 is a proclamation, Building Safety Month. And let me start. Okay, I love doing these, by the way. Whereas North Bend is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on safety and essential role of our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure safe construction of buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, territorial, tribal, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Mission Impossible, the theme of Building Safety Month 2024, encourages all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year in observance of Building Safety Month, People all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now therefore, I, Mary Miller, Mayor, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 as Building Safety Month in the city of North Bend and encourage our citizens to join us as we participate in Building Safety Month activities. All right. Yeah. Want to come up? So we have Colin coming up tonight and he'll present that to you. I'll just come around that way. Oh, okay.
Gotta feel better. I do that all the time.
Okay, moving on to introductions, item number 11, AB 24-047, motion authorizing payment to SBU for Saving Water Partnership. Mr. DeBerg, would you like to provide the report?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor and council members.
Yeah.
In July of 2021, the city council voted in favor of joining the Saving Water Partnership, which is a collection of 19 utility partners led by Seattle Public Utilities. All of those partners are in some way or another wholesale customers of SPU. The program offers a mix of education, technical assistance, and rebates to encourage residents and businesses to take actions to conserve water. Since joining the Saving Water Partnership, our customers have benefited from several educational and outreach programs. I know there's been several programs presented at North Bend Elementary School since we joined, I believe on the order of 8 to 10 classes per year. Additionally, we do outreach. Ted Stonebridge, your water operations manager, and I attend several farmers markets, block party, those types of events every year to do outreach and inform our customers of what the program offers, which consists of on-site evaluations of residential and commercial properties to help property owners find ways of reducing water usage and conserving water. Landscape programs that include training and or on-site assessments to help property owners maintain their landscaping in a more water efficient manner. Rebate programs that are available to commercial and residential customers to implement water saving programs. Several other things. The big one is the toilet rebate program. So we offer up to $100 per replacement toilet for our customers to replace, I believe it's 1993 and older model year toilets with water efficient units. So it's a good program. It helps conserve water. It's a precious resource. We're all very aware of this. So typically this wouldn't go to city council. The annual fees are about $15,000 a year, which is below the council approval threshold. However, SPU forgot to bill us last year, so we're getting hit for 2 years in a row on this invoice, which exceeds the $25,000. Total cost is $30,750. All I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeBerg. Council, do we have any clarifying questions?
So thank you for sharing the information, and it's a pretty simple question. I'm actually glad this came to the council because I think it highlights, some of the things that the city is working to do to, stand behind water conservation. If a resident has a you know, an interest in pursuing having their systems evaluated, where could they look for that information?
The website is savingwater.org. We direct everybody there. It's full of information. It's got all sorts of contact information on it. And for any of the on-site work or any of the rebate programs, our customers talk directly to Seattle. They do not talk to us. Seattle is in charge of all of those programs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rustic. Any other clarifying questions from council? Mr. Goto.
Does Seattle give us any input as to how many of our customers have reached out to them directly specifically?
I don't have that data on hand right now. I know of one commercial rebate that's been given so far, and that was for the food bank. They did an upgrade to one of their coolers, which saved a fair amount of water. I don't have any of the statistics right off the top of my head, but that is one commercial rebate I'm aware of so far.
Any other council member question? Ms. Torgerson.
I believe you probably know what our population is. If you were to take the number that we pay each year, how much is that per person?
That's about $2 per year.
It's a pretty good deal.
Anybody else? Okay, very good. If any members of the audience would like to comment on this agenda item, we would invite you to come forward to the podium at this time. If you have requested accommodation with the city clerk and wish to speak, please raise your hand through the virtual platform, and we will take your comments after in-person comments. Please remember to state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Aaron or Bree, do we have anybody? Nope, all quiet? Okay. Okay, Councilmember Colon, will you please make the motion?
Motion to approve AB 24-047, authorizing payment to Seattle Public Utilities for the city's membership in the Saving Water Partnership and the amount not to exceed $30,750.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Don't hold out on me. Thank you. Motion by Ms. Colon and seconded by Mr. Tremolata. Let's see, do we have any, would you like to have a comment to your motion there?
Sure.
Okay.
So as Mr. DeBerg states, water is a very precious resource that we need to educate everybody about saving and being cautious with our education and outreach programs.
Thank you, Mr. Tremolata. Do you have a comment to make? No, no. Any other council member, Mr. Goto?
Thank you. It's kind of a appropriate time frame for this to come up and come to the council, considering not only is this, Washington State going to be under what looks like to be a water kind of situation going on where there's not enough water, and we're going to be in the same situation because there's not a lot of snowpack. For the 5 people that watch this on the video, please, follow up on this and see if you can help out in your own residents and trying to get water savings. But this is something that's not only a North Bend issue, but a state of Washington issue, as we see. And I believe we're going to probably see a bunch of, ordinance or restrictions coming across the state, not just in North Bend. We do have our ordinance here. It's been helpful. Nobody's been penalized on it. And I hope I'm basically encouraging people to take up on this offer and utilize this, because I think it's important for the community as a whole.
Thank you, Mr. Goto. If anybody. Whoops, the motion before us is to approve AB 24-047, authorizing payment to Seattle Public Utilities for the city's membership in the Saving Water Partnership in an amount not to exceed $30,750. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 12, AB 24-048, motion authorizing TIB grant for 2024 sidewalk gaps project. Mr. Moore, would you please provide the staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. In February of this year, city staff applied for a early opportunity to complete streets grant from the Transportation Improvement Board, or TIB, in the amount of $500,000 for 4 sidewalk gap projects. This grant was for shovel-ready projects, and these 4 projects that are listed here on the agenda bill: the North Bend Way Sidewalk Project from the Snoqualmie Valley Trail to Tanner Road along the middle fork of the Snoqualmie River, the Cedar Falls Way Sidewalk just behind us here on the south side of the road from Mount Tenor to Mountain View Boulevard, Orchard Drive on the south side of the road across the street from Sideview Park, and Southeast 140th Street from North Bend Way up to the Tanner Falls frontage. These projects are all designed and out to bid right now, so they're shovel ready, and they were a good application for this Complete Streets grant. So in March of this year, TIB awarded us the $500,000. They're going to pay it. They'll pay 34.78% of the eligible project costs up to $500,000. Like I said, these projects are all designed and out to bid. We'll be bringing the bids to you at the first meeting in June for these 4 projects. And these grant funds need to be used by the end of the year. That's one of the stipulations of the grant. So before these TIB funds can be used, we have to cover several administrative items need to be completed. We need acceptance of the grant from council, execution of the grant agreement, which is the standard TIB grant that we get with all these funds we receive yearly, and the execution of the project's funding status form, all of which are attached. We discussed this with TIB at our April meeting, and they approved this grant acceptance, and staff recommends moving forward with grant acceptance as well.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Any council questions for Mr. Moore? Clarifying questions? No, I don't see any. Okay, if any members of the audience would like to comment on this agenda item, we would invite you to come forward to the podium at this time. If you have requested accommodation with the city clerk and wish to speak, please raise your hand via the virtual platform, and we will take your comments after in-person comments. Please remember to state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Aaron and Bree? No?
No one at this time.
Thank you. We have a quiet night. All right, so I think this came through Ms. Colin again. Okay, Councilmember Cole, will you please make that motion?
Motion to approve AB 24-048, a resolution authorizing a transportation improvement board grant agreement for sidewalk gaps, multiple locations project.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you. Motion by Ms. Colin and seconded by Ms. Rustick. Ms. Colin, do you have any comments to make?
I think all 4 of these projects look amazing, and I look forward to seeing them finished.
Thank you. And Ms. Rustick.
And I'll just add that I've been the benefit of some of the projects that were done last year, and I think it's fantastic. So I look forward to these as well.
Excellent. Anybody else from council would have any comments to make? No, all systems are go. Okay, let's see. The motion before us is to approve AB 24-048, a resolution authorizing a transportation improvement board grant agreement for sidewalk gaps, multiple locations project. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? A motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to mayor, council, administrative concerns and initiatives. I'm going to start with Ms. Torgerson. Please, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Good.
I'm just pretending.
Pretending. Okay.
Well, first of all, we have this weekend, the senior center is putting on an auction event. It's, if you haven't signed up for it yet, there's probably still time to sign up and definitely benefit our senior center. And then on May 18th, we also have the Sip Suds and Size, so you don't want to forget about that. And I'm going to both, so I'll see you there if you're there.
I'll see you there too then. Hey, Ms. Colin.
I heard on the radio, yes, I listen to the radio sometimes, that it is National Teachers Day. So I just want to say happy National Teachers Day. We appreciate you. I know that sometimes you don't feel like that, but we truly do. So happy National Teachers Day.
Thank you, Mr. Tremolata.
Sure, I've got a couple of thoughts. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to the mayor for some great leadership over the last week, and probably the most unique time maybe in a long time around here. But some good coverage for our small town, and I think there was some great leadership on your part to corral that in, so to speak, no pun intended. And also, I won't go too deep, but congratulations to our own Heather, Councilmember Colin, for running, throwing her hat in the race. It takes a lot of courage for the state level. But I wanted to say, just as a father of two young girls growing up in this community, having two women lead the way in a small mountain town, have the courage to run a state campaign and to lead both regional and national coverage, believe it or not, for that zebra story. It was pretty neat to see two little girls get excited. I showed the website for you, and my little girl saw the mayor on TV and said, "Hey, that's our mayor." So I think it's important to say that out loud when you have strong women leaders. I'm grateful to work with you and hope to support you along the way.
Thank you, Ms. Tremolata. And let's go down to Mr. Jocelyn, please.
Let's see, I wanted to call out the good work of city staff. A $500,000 in sidewalk grant funds me at the front of the line for funds that have to get spent by the end of the year, and having shovel-ready projects, it wouldn't be possible or coming that way, coming towards the city absent that good work. The question was asked earlier of cost per resident. There's about 7,500 residents in North Bend. $500,000 comes out to $68 per person in this town. And that's, it adds up. And one of the things that this city is good at, to the credit of staff, is securing grant funding. It makes a huge difference and benefits the quality of life here for those of us fortunate enough to live here. So I think that's a big deal. There are actually zebra cross. I made a joke at the Transportation Public Works Committee meeting about zebra crossing signs, but I will say there are actually zebra crossing signs at South Fork as you head south. And I think that's just remarkable. We'll see if the Department of Transportation has anything to say about that. At the moment, it's a wonderful bookend to that great chapter of following the zebras. Has been just a real pleasure and kind of a break from all the other things that are going on. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Jocelyn. And Ms. Rustick.
Yes, I've enjoyed the smiles on people's faces all across the Puget Sound as they talk about the zebras in North Bend. So that's been pretty remarkable. I would agree. Just a comment about, I looked out the window this morning and there was snow on the top of Mount Si, and I thought, it is May. And I know this weekend it's supposed to get warmer in the 80s, and just a reminder, and I know there were public comments about a regional pool and swimming at the river, and the river is going to be cold. So I know we're all going to be tempted to jump in, and that is the first thing I thought when I saw that snow on the mountain this morning was, here we go. It's going to get sunny, but it's cold. So anyway, just a word of caution. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Ms. Russick, thank you very much. I'm going to scoot over to Brendan because I feel very like he's lonely up there. Brendan, I haven't been ignoring you, but
Is he lonely?
Are you lonely?
No, it's an interesting bird's eye view, I must say.
Okay, I'm glad to hear
so-
that.
Yeah, so I have a few things. One, I don't know if Deb is still there, but I was sporting my art and industry shirt today. So we were twinsies for a minute there. So supporting that. So it's great. I also want to echo Mr. Tremolata's voice on Councilmember Colin and Mary Miller. Your leadership lately has been fantastic, and I love the fact that, Heather, you've put your name into the race. It's important to do that. So congratulations and good luck to you on that. I do want to echo Mr. Jocelyn's words specifically on the grant monies. I love seeing those type of items come through on our agenda bills. It's a good point to make out to the public that, look, our staff is fantastic. They're brilliant at what they do, and bringing money in to do some great cause for our community is one of those things. And so congratulations. I think that's a big win for us. And then I also want to say, Phil and Bree in the background there, this user experience is fantastic. I'm seeing split screens of the council chambers. It's moving at the right time. I'm able to come in and out of mute. Whatever you guys have done to make this UI so much better, I love it. The problem with that is it's tempting me to get sick more often and stay home more often because this is just fantastic. So well done, everybody. Thank you. Sorry I couldn't be there live, and enjoy the weather this coming weekend. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Brendan. You certainly made it entertaining. Mr. Gotel.
Yeah, Brendan, don't get too comfortable. We still like you here. It's still part of the fun. Yeah, I get that. Couple things. First off, zebra story. It was a great way for people I haven't talked to in years that heard it in the national news and called me up. Even had a customer this morning say, well, I thought you were trying to find the zebra, not on vacation. So it's kind of humorous and a good feel story. Going along with the comment on the pool, I had two daughters that were benefits of learning how to swim at that pool. And I do agree that we do need something, and a regional pool, like you said, not one that's up in Snoqualmie, not in the middle. And just to give some background information for those people, there was a push at one point for us to do something in a joint pool, but it was turned down by the city of Snoqualmie as to find a central location between both cities, which makes more sense. I see no reason why going up to North Bend for most of the people would not work. So support the idea. Public safety is really that. Along with public safety, the water is a good point. The other is the days are getting longer. The kids are going to be coming out of school and getting a lot of breaks as we're starting to get there. Please watch, everybody as you're driving through, slow down a little, keep your eyes on the road, not on your phones, and look out for people walking in our beautiful city because that's what we want to see. So thank you and everybody have a good night.
Thanks, Mr. Gotel. And Mr. Miller, do you have any comments to make tonight?
Well, I couldn't help but let you know that the city manager in North Bend, Oregon, who I met at a city managers West Coast conference, and by the way, his name is David Millard. He's a little bit bigger than I am. He's about 6'7" and probably 300 pounds, but he just couldn't resist calling me and talking about the fact that we've started a zoo here and just ribbing me over that one. And the other thing, I really appreciate Brendan's comments, because I remember when the only thing we'd have remotely was during COVID was when Jonathan would hear the word change order and take a drink of some libation. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but change order would always trigger that and he'd do it. And we've come a long way from then. And it's really nice to see that our AV system is doing so well, that tech guys are doing a good job with it. So just more improvements. Everything seems to get better and better here. So really pleased with that.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Let's see. I'm going to talk about Sip Suds and Sigh a little bit more. Thank you for the presidents for it. The always popular Sip Suds and Sigh event is happening Saturday, May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. Grab your friends for a self-guided evening of tasting and exploring the charm of downtown North Bend. For more information, check out the community calendar on the city website. I'll be there and I hope to see a lot of my friends up here and around the community as well. And I wasn't going to speak about the zebra, but I'll just say and add this. Thank you for your kind thoughts. And thank you, Mr. Tremolata, of course, and Brennan as well. I'm just happy to say that I had an experience I didn't see coming firsthand. Bree Kevin was there at points to witness as well. So we both have special memories. The number one thing is that Shug is safe. She's back with her foal and her family. And evidently, per the owner, there was a lot of braying when she got into the paddock. They all had a party. So what a good thing to add to it. So anyway, what a good ending to a really outstanding story that we didn't see coming. Thank you, everyone. We are going to have an executive session. We will now recess the meeting for an executive session to discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.110. The executive session is expected to last 15 minutes. As there's no action anticipated as the result of the executive session, the videotaping of the meeting will stop at this time. Everybody have a wonderful week. Happy Mother's Day.